Hey everyone, this is Sandra with Quest Dehumidifiers. Hey, today we're going to go over some ducting do's and don'ts. To start off with, when you're choosing ducting, you definitely want to go with a rigid set ducting versus a flex ducting. Flex ducting tends to have a little more surface area, so you're going to definitely see some more drag resistance, static pressure with flex ducting. You'll get the best performance with rigid set ducting. Not to say that the M-Core tech is affected all too much either way, but you'll get better results with that rigid ducting. For ducting in general, you do want, whether it's the intake or the exhaust side, you want about 4 to 5 feet before you go into any bend. Duct work, and you want a total length anywhere between 25 to 30 feet depending on model. You want to keep it simple. You don't want crazy bends and turns. That definitely increases static pressure within the duct work. You don't, so typically you want a nice straight run and a 90-degree. If you get into more of the flex duct, you can get a lot of twists, bends, turns. We want to avoid that, because that does, again, affect performance of your equipment, puts more pressure on the unit, and reduces, in a sense, some of the capacity with dehumidifiers in general. Also, things that we see a lot from customers is only ducting on the intake side and then exhausting out into a space above or beside the room. That's incorrect. You want that exhaust air to go back into the room. And the reason why we see a lot of customers doing that is because the air is warm. There's heat coming out of the unit, and that warm air is supposed to go back into the room because that's also your dry air. So if you're pulling if you have just the intake kit on there and you're just pulling out of the room and then blowing that dry air into the overall envelope of the building that the room is built into, you're losing that dry air. So you want to recirculate, you want to bring that air back into the room and not outside the room. It's kind of like you just bought yourself an expensive exhaust fan or ventilator, right? Another point is you want to be cognizant of where you lay out your duct work. So your intake, you definitely don't want to put your ducting intakes near an HVAC exhaust. We do want that air to mix before it hits any intake of the dehu. And that, because you're going to drop, you can potentially drop performance by pulling in that cold HVAC air. So you want that air to mix before it hits the dehu. The same is true with other dehumidifiers. So if you've got multiple dehumidifiers outside your room with ducting, you want to be able to pull from one end of the room, exhaust maybe into another end of the room, or you could have them staggered just so that the intake of one dehu is not drawing in the exhaust of another dehu, right? That too, you've already got dried air, you're dehumidifying dried air, and you're already dropping performance capacity, just like if you were to have cold air blow into your dehu as well. So definitely want to avoid that. Another thing that you want to avoid on the HVAC, so if you have your exhaust, you don't want your exhaust ducting to blow into an HVAC intake as well. You get a little bit of lazy HVAC. Allow the air conditioner to do its own dehumidification work as well. So we want to keep all these intakes, all these exhausts away from each other, so we don't run into these performance issues with our equipment. We don't run into erratic swings up and down that within your situation, whether it be an industrial or an ag type situation. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.